Hello everyone and welcome to another long-haul flight in the Airbus A330. Today we are going to fly about 10.5 hours from Frankfurt to Windhoek, Namibia, which is one of the real-world routes flown by Eurowings Discover. I believe this is the only flight directly from Europe to Namibia, so it's going to be quite a long one and an interesting one as well. We are on the VATSIM network today, but the controllers just went offline, so we are pretty much on our own from here on out. I doubt that they would come online anytime soon, so I am not going to hold my breath on that. We've already gone ahead and done our pre-flight preparations. As you can see, we are boarding the aircraft. Cargo is being loaded already together with the passengers. And we have set up our routes and weight information as well. So without further ado, let's hop into the cockpit and review our flight plan. Okay, here we are in the cockpit, and let's just quickly review our flight plan. So Frankfurt to Hosea Kutako International Airport in Windhoek. Cost index today 30, and we are going to have a small tailwind of 3 knots as well, so that's going to be okay for us. Takeoff weight today 207 tons around about, which is rather heavy, but it is at least under the maximum takeoff weight. Cruising altitude initially flight level 330 with some step altitudes at Ordina 370 and board at 390. Block fuel that we have loaded into the aircraft today 60.7 tons, which we rounded up to 61 tons. Of course, it's 60.96 now because we have got the APU running to air condition the aircraft. Then in terms of the routing, we are going to take off from runway 25 center via Aneki 3 Foxtrot departure, and then follow all of those airways all the way down to Windhoek, and we are going to land on runway 26 most likely. The runway in use can change at any moment, so I'm not going to worry too much about this one. Then passengers today 249 with 6.2 tons of cargo. That gives us a payload of 25.9 tons. So that is all good. Then we can do a quick weather review. Let's see. Here we are, Frankfurt, Main. It's rather very windy here today. 220/18 gusting 31, and variable 200 to 60 degrees as well. Visibility is rather good. We do have some scattered clouds and broken clouds as well, but in Windhoek I'm not going to worry too much about it. It's currently okay conditions, but we are very far away. The weather can change any moment, but at least the forecast is also forecasting okay conditions, so that should be all good. Okay, don't really like the way that this scrolling is being implemented here in the ini build, but maybe not so much can do. One thing we forgot to check is that our alternate airport, which is Walvis Bay, 310 degrees 7 knots, it's also going to be fine. I doubt we are going to fly there in any case, but if we do end up going there, then no problem whatsoever. We are going to have quite a number of alternate airports in the middle, or potential alternate airports in the middle, just in case anything happens, but I don't think we are going to be using any of those. Scrolling all the way to the bottom here is proving to be a rather tedious process. I just wanted to scroll all the way to the profile, but I guess it's not going to show up. That's our route all the way from Frankfurt to Windhoek with our alternate over there. We do have a bit of a jet stream at flight level 400, but As you saw in our steps, we are only going to go up to 390, so that's not going to affect us all that much. Little bit of turbulence also at high altitude, but I doubt that's going to affect us, so that should be fine. There is our profile, top of climb 330. Then we are going to go up to 370 and then 390 by BOD, and then all the way to Windhoek. Okay, so we are just about ready to go. Let's just check here. I am not entirely sure where the INI-built aircrafts get their weather information from. But if I go to Open Airport and check the weather, it's giving us QNH 1002 versus 998 here. So yeah, I don't know where that is from. If you know, maybe comment down below, and if you know how to change the source as well. But I always use Navigraph for the weather data. Okay, so everything is pretty much set up already. There we have got our flight plan entered. If we have a look at the chart for Aneki, maybe we can use can set up the tablet to be horizontal. That's always better for Navigraph. So Aneki 3 Foxtrot from 25 center goes, and then Aneki, you make a left-hand turn and then an immediate right-hand turn to Aneki with the initial climb clearance of 5,000 on the 3 Foxtrot. So 5,000 set, and we can have a look at the routing, and there we go. Straight out, left, and then right again, and then direct to Aneki, and then en route. So that is all good. Secondary flight plan is set up as well. That goes to a waypoint that's 25 miles out, and we're going to hold, and then we need to come back to runway 25 right. So that is all set up as well. That is a runway center line extended as well to the waypoint that's 25 miles out. Okay, now that the boarding is completed, we can do our takeoff performance calculation. We are going to go to takeoff, runway 25 center. The heading for this runway is absolutely not 249, is it? 25 center is 246. Once again, I'm not sure where this is obtained from, but it's clearly incorrect, as you can see. So weather information 210, 28 knots. 210 and 28 knots. 210, 28 knots. And we have got an outside air temperature of 6 degrees. Altimeter is 1002. And with that, what is our takeoff weight today? 207.8. We're going to go 207.9, configure 2, air conditioning off, and calculate. Okay, then we have it. 159 for V1, 167 for VR, 169 for V2, flex 55, trim 3.5 up, and we're going to go and insert that. So 159, 167, 159, 167. I believe the other one was 169, wasn't it? And then we have got flex 55. And config 2, trimmable horizontal stabilizer 3.4 up. And then in terms of the climb, we are 200 tons and above. We're going to use the rated 2 climb, and that is all in order. Okay, then we can do the checklists now. Cockpit preparation checklist: gear spins and covers removed, seatbelt sign is on, fuel quantity 60,940. Let's see, where is the fuel? Balanced. Okay, and ADRS is aligned, set to nav, and barrel ref QNH 1002. Cockpit preparation checklist is complete. Okay, and with that we are pretty much ready to go. So external power can be disconnected, the APU is started, the beacon light can come on now, and we can ask the ground to detach the GPU, and we can ask GSX to push us back. Okay, before startup checklist: parking brake set, and takeoff speed and thrust are calculated. 159, 167, 169, flex 55. Beacon light is on, and before startup checklist is complete. Okay, no one has connected, no controller has connected, so we are just going to announce ourselves on the network. We are going to runway 25 center, so we are going to do a nose right pushback today. Frankfurt traffic Ocean 132 pushing back from stand Charlie 16 on to November. Frankfurt traffic. Okay, and with that we can ask GSX to continue the pushback. Going to go nose right.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brake is released, and the door is still open, so I can close that.
Start at will.
Right, we just passed the red line, so we're going to start the engines. Starting sequence number 2 and the number 1, so starting engine number 2.
Over traffic aerologic 618 taxi to runway 25 center via November 14 Lima and holding point Lima 3. Frankfurt traffic, correct in Condor 2144, 8 miles final runway 25 left.
Okay, engine number 2 is available, starting engine number 1.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brake is set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear. Current truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Alright, thank you. Engine number 1 is available, and
clear.
ignition switch back to normal, and APU can come off. We can switch on the wing light as well. Then we can do the after start checklist. Anti-ice not required. Runner trim neutral. Pitch trim should be 3.4 up, and that is automatically set. After startup, checklist is complete. And there is the ground crew showing us the pin and walking away, and with that we are pretty much ready to go. So then, auto brake max for rejected takeoff, spoilers armed, flaps 2 for takeoff, weather radar and predictive wind shear on and auto. And with that we are pretty much ready to go. It is going to be a rather short taxi today, so we can do the flight control check while we are here. So ailerons full left, full right, neutral, elevators, full down, full up, neutral, radar pedals, full left, full right, neutral. Flight control check is complete. And with that, we are ready to taxi. We are on November, so we're gonna go November 1 and up to holding point Lima 1. Frankfurt traffic Ocean 132, taxiing to holding point Lima 1 runway 25 center via November and November 1. Frankfurt traffic.
Frankfurt traffic, Ocean 50 at stats Charlie 15, push and start facing east for November.
Okay. We are pretty much clear to go, so taxi lights on, runway 10 of flight on as well. And we can switch off the lights. And let's go. Takeoff configuration normal, and we are good for go. Okay, November 1 is this one here on the right hand side.
Frankfurt traffic Honda 2144, vacated runway 25 left Frankfurt.
Clear right, and we can make our turn. Taxi checklist. Flight controls checked. Flaps setting. Flaps 2 for takeoff. Radar and predictive wind shear on and auto. Engine start selector. Norm. ECA memo. Takeoff no blue. Taxi checklist complete. We are going to the other holding point, which is much closer. Okay, here we are. Just want to check if there is by any chance anybody on final And I don't see anybody, so that is all good. Frankfurt traffic, Ocean 132 lining up runway 25 center via Lima 1. Frankfurt traffic. Okay, lineup checklist, transponder Tara.
Frankfurt traffic, Lufthansa
Strobe light can come on.
taxi to holding point Lima 6 for runway 25 center via Lima.
Okay, then packs off today. And takeoff runway 25 center is confirmed.
Frankfurt traffic, Condor 2144, holding short runway 25 center at Mike 24.
Okay, landing lights on. Shall we make this a rolling takeoff? Okay, and with that we are pretty much ready to go, so Flex 55 SRS
Frankfurt traffic, Ocean 50, taxi holding point runway 25
Otherwise
center
blue.
via November 1 and
80 knots.
Frankfurt traffic, Lufthansa 79 Fox holding at Lima 6, number 2 for departure.
Frankfurt traffic, German 1618, line up runway 25.
B1. Rotate.
Frankfurt traffic, Condor 2144,
Positive rate. Gear up.
Frankfurt traffic, Condor 2144, vacated runway 25 center.
Frankfurt traffic, Ocean 132, airborne out of 25 center. Frankfurt traffic. Okay, then set climb thrust.
German cargo 619
And
taking off runway
set
25 center.
autopilot. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. We are climbing rather slowly because we are on derated climb, but that is
79 Fox
good.
lining up and wait runway 25 center.
.210 knots speed restriction over there, so that is good that the aircraft is following that. And we can start the fastback.
Frankfurt traffic, German cargo 618 airborne, passing 1,500 feet.
Frankfurt traffic, Ocean 50, line up.
Back number 2 can come on as well, and we can go flaps 0. Speed checked, and we can disarm the spoilers. Okay, 5,000 feet is coming up, and
Frankfurt traffic,
we
Condor 6
no
Lima
longer have
Alpha,
any
position Charlie
restrictions,
5,
so
push back.
flight level 370. Is it 370? 330.
Frankfurt traffic, Lufthansa 79 Fox, take off now, runway 257.
Passing the transition altitude, altimeter set to standard. Okay, climbing to 33,000 feet or flight level 330. By the way, don't you just love the sounds of those Rolls-Royce engines on the climb? They sound absolutely fantastic. We can switch on the cockpit light as well. We no longer really need to see outside, so that is well and good.
Frankfurt traffic, Lufthansa 79 Fox, airborne now, runway 25 center, passing 2000.
Frankfurt traffic, Ocean Flight 0, taking off runway 25 center.
Okay, passing 10,000 feet, we can switch off the landing lights, and we can switch off the seatbelt sign as well. And with that, we are climbing to flight level 330, our initial cruising altitude, and we are en route to Windhoek. Very nice lighting down below, and of course there are only a few clouds, so the views from up here are quite awesome. And of course we are accelerating towards our climbing speed. I think that is all good. For now we can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. I'm going to switch off the cockpit light now, and I hope you enjoy the catering that they are serving in the back at the moment. Have a movie or watch a movie or two, and I will see you when it is time to brief for our arrival into Windhoek. Alright, I hope you had a good night's sleep. We are almost at our top of descent. It's coming up in a couple of miles, and that means it's time to do our approach briefing. Runway 26 is still the runway in use according to the wind data that I see here from SimBrief, or rather Navigraph. So that means we are going to go for the ILS 26. We don't have any star that comes from this direction, so we are just going to go for a straight in landing. We're going to vector ourselves onto the ILS. The weather at the moment is, let's see here, winds to 290 degrees 5 knots, scattered clouds, the temperature 30 degrees, so quite hot. QNH 1017, but I think that is all good, especially for the wind. That's going to make for an okay landing. I don't think there will be anything challenging at all. Then in terms of the arrival, here is our ILS chart. Going to intercept the glide slope at 8,000 feet. Airport elevation, of course, 5,500. So yeah, that should be fine. I initially thought that we could do this DME arc, but coming in from the northern side here, this is going to be a rather tight turn, and I really think it's unnecessary. If you would like to find out how to fly a DME arc, you can just check out my previous video where we flew a DME arc into Male Velana Airport. Okay, then our minimums are going to be 5,728 for a Cat C approach. So actually gonna go there then into the landing performance and enter that right away. 5728. That is that. Okay, then we can already fill in the weather information as well. QNH 1017, and the temperature of 30 degrees, and the wind is 290 degrees 5 knots, and transition level 5,000, which I believe is not correct, is 10,000. And there we have it. So full config landing, that's going to give us an approach speed of 132 knots, which is all good. Okay, let's fly to our top of descent. Okay, top of descent, and that means down we go. We are going to just go straight out to 8,000 feet because we don't have a star, and that means we can just target the altitude that we are going to intercept the glide slope at. I initially input here Joey, but I think it's okay. We're just going to go straight in. I'm going to go ILS 26 with no star, and then insert. See how does that look. Okay, I think we can just go direct IMPEP actually. After airbill, we can go direct IMPEP, and I think that's going to be fine. Okay, so after airbill, we're going direct IMPEP. If we can't make it, we are of course going to then have to do a hold in order to lose the altitude, and then we can intercept the ILS. Okay, next thing we need to do is to do our landing performance calculation. So for that, we're just going to use SimBrief. So we're gonna go performance, then we're going to do populate from last flight. 826, the weather information is inserted. The weight is 155480. I think we can use that for now and just calculate. And that gives us a brake setting of low, and that's going to give us a more than enough stop margin. So auto brake low, that should be fine. QNH 1017, we can preset that, and we are good to go. Okay, let's continue our descent. Okay, we just passed 10,000 feet. That means we can switch on the landing lights and the seatbelt sign on as well. Pass our transition altitude, set QNH 1017. And of course, we are too high, so we just input now a hold at IMPEP. But come to think of it, we don't actually need it anymore, do we? Not sure now how to cancel the hold. There we go. Exit and just check there with the landing system if we are receiving anything. Nothing, no ILS frequency set, but it's 110.3. 110.3. And the inbound course is 256. And there we have it. It's identified, so all we need to do now is to just make sure that we align ourselves on there. Although I do have a feeling that we are probably not gonna be able to make it. Okay, lock star, and we can go full approach and glide slope star as well. Flaps 2. Gear down. Flaps 3. And we can switch on the landing lights as well. Flaps full. Okay, so go around altitude is 8,000 feet. That's already set, so no need to change anything there. The spoilers, and we already have the auto brake set, and on the cabin as well. Okay, so approach checklist is already complete. Barrel ref is set, seatbelt signs are set, minimums are set, auto brake is set, engine start selector is set to norm. That's approach checklist complete. Landing checklist, ECA memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete.
1000.
Checked. And I think we are pretty much good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. Autopilot off. I'm going to keep the auto throttle, auto thrust on.
500.
Okay, correcting the glide slope.
400.
Land.
300. 200.
Okay.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, reach 10.
And touchdown. A little bit off the center there. Auto brake is off because we are going to target to get off the runway at the, not this exit, but the next exit. All right. And here we go. We can vacate here. And we can start the APU already. It's going to be a rather short taxi. We of course have the updated Hosea Kutako scenery with the new terminal. Okay, runway vacated, landing lights off, taxi light on, strobe lights off. APU start. We are going to go to the second last parking there. Landing checklist, weather radar and predictive wind shear off. Landing checklist complete. Spoilers disarm and flaps 1. Or flaps up because I see now the temperature is reading 19 degrees. Okay, we don't have a GSX profile for this airport, so we can go to Charlie 2, which is that one there, but we are going to turn around on Charlie 3. So we make a turn here and then do sort of like a U-turn and then face the air marshaller. Now of course without the GSX profile we are going to have to run into those equipment there, but what can you do, right? I think we overshot it, or rather this is just a really massive aircraft. I think it's fine. We are just going to make sure that it faces the center line of the parking, and then we can stop here. Okay, parking brake is set, APU is on, APU bleed can come on, and engines off. Welcome to Windhoek Hosea Kutako International Airport. Okay, beacon light off, seatbelt sign off, and we can ask GSX to deboard the passengers. Let's see.
The boarding requested.
Okay, passengers are still deboarding, so I think we can start preparing for shutdown already.
Passengers deboarding started.
Okay, I think I'm gonna ask for the GPU, and while we are here, switch off all the fuel pumps as well. And then activate the ground power. Temperature is apparently 19 degrees, so I guess that should be fine. TCAS off, transponder can go into standby as well. And then that's pretty much it. The flight time 3 hours is obviously incorrect, that is 3 hours in real time, but the flight itself without sim rate acceleration is 10.5 hours. Okay, so all of these lights off, nav and logo lights can remain on. And with that, we are pretty much done. Parking checklist, parking brakes or chocks, parking brake is set, engines are off, wind lights are off, fuel pumps are off as well. So parking checklist is complete, and with that we can just wait for the passengers to deboard. Okay, there isn't really anything much for us to do. I'm going to go ahead and end the flight here. I hope you enjoyed that very long flight from Frankfurt to Windhoek, and I hope to see you again on another flight.